Good afternoon. This is All India Radio. I'm Anuja Kumar and with me is Rupinder Kaur Chawla with the Midday News. The headlines. Prime Minister Narendra Modi interacts with beneficiaries of PM Street Vendors Atmanirbhar Nidhi, assures digital benefits to the street vendors. Kisan Train to transport agri-products from Andhra Pradesh to Delhi flagged off. French Defence Minister to attend Rafale induction ceremony at Ambala tomorrow. Government issues SOP for partial reopening of schools for class 9th to 12th from 21st September. COVID-19 recovery rate improves to 77.77%, around 34 lakh people recovered so far. And UNICEF report says child mortality rate in India has declined substantially, and at US Open, Naomi Osaka faces Jennifer Brady, while Alexander Zverev takes on Pablo Carreño Busta in the semi-finals. Prime Minister Narendra Modi today said there has been a lot of talk on the poor in our country, but the work done for the poor in the last 6 years is unprecedented. The Prime Minister was addressing more than 1 lakh street vendors of Madhya Pradesh benefiting from PM Street Vendors Atmanirbhar Nidhi PM Swanidhi scheme through video conferencing today.
कई लोगों ने तो जिंदगी में बार-बार गरीब गरीब ही बोलते रहे हैं, लेकिन गरीबों के लिए जितना काम पिछले 6 साल में हुआ है और बिल्कुल प्लानिंग से हुआ है, एक चीज के साथ दूसरी चीज, दूसरे से जुड़ी हुई तीसरी चीज, हर चीज की भरपाई हो और गरीबी से लड़ने की उसको ताकत मिले और खुद ही गरीबी को परास्त करके गरीबी से बाहर निकले, उस दिशा में एक के बाद एक कदम अनेक नई पहलें उठाई गई हैं.
Every sector where the poor were in scarcity, the government schemes came as their enabler. He said the objective of this scheme is that they can start afresh, start their work again, and for this they get easy capital.
रेहड़ी ठेले वाले हमारे लाखों साथियों का परिवार तो उनकी रोज की मेहनत से चलता है. कोरोना के कारण बाजार बंद हो गए, खुद की जान बचाने के लिए लोग घरों में ज्यादा रहने लगे, तो इसका बहुत बड़ा असर ये हमारे रेहड़ी पटरी वाले भाई बहन हैं, उनके कारोबार पर पड़ा. उनको मुश्किलों से निकालने के लिए ही प्रधानमंत्री स्वनिधि योजना की शुरुआत हुई है. इस योजना का मकसद है कि वो लोग नई शुरुआत कर सके, अपना काम फिर शुरू कर सके. इसके लिए उन्हें आसानी से पूंजी मिले, उनको बाहर बहुत ब्याज देकर के रुपये लाने के लिए मजबूर न होना पड़े.
This is also the first time that the network of millions of street vendors truly connected to the system have got an identity. Describing the benefits of Swanidhi scheme, the Prime Minister said they can get rid of interest completely through the scheme. He added under this scheme, interest rebates of up to 7% are already being given. But if some small things are taken care of, then they will not have to give even that. Announcing to provide digital benefits to the street vendors, the Prime Minister said that an online delivery facility is also being considered for the street vendors. A new beginning has been made in collaboration with the banks and digital payment facilitators to ensure that our street vendors do not lag behind in digital shopkeeping.
बीते 3-4 साल के दौरान देश में डिजिटल लेन देन का चलन तेजी से बढ़ रहा है. कोरोना काल में हम सब महसूस भी कर रहे हैं कि ये कितना जरूरी भी है. अब ग्राहक नकद पैसे लेने देने से बचते हैं, सीधे मोबाइल से ही पेमेंट करते हैं. इसलिए हमारे रेहड़ी पटरी वाले साथी इस डिजिटल दुकानदारी में बिल्कुल पीछे न रहें.
Now the representatives of banks and institutions will come to the street vendors and give them QR code. Referring to other schemes of the government related to the welfare of the poor, the Prime Minister said the government has also started a big scheme to provide better accommodation in cities at a reasonable rent to the poor. One country, one ration card scheme will also allow to get their share of cheap ration anywhere in the country. Applications of 2.45 lakh eligible beneficiaries of the scheme have been presented through the portal to banks for credit facility, out of which acceptance has been granted to around 1.4 lakh street vendors of amount worth 140 crore rupees. Madhya Pradesh stands first in the number of total applications accepted under this scheme. Our correspondent has more details.
Madhya Pradesh Chief Minister Shivraj Singh Chauhan said that this scheme is a boon for the poor. This will change the life of the street vendors. He assured that those who are being deprived of this scheme also gave benefit of it. The government is committed to bring business back on track. Madhya Pradesh stands first in the number of total applications accepted under this scheme. Around 47% of applications are coming from the state alone. As many as 4.5 lakh street vendors were registered in Madhya Pradesh, with more than 4 lakh vendors having been given identification and vendor certification. Central Minister Hardeep Puri also participated in the program through video conferencing. Sanjeev Sharma, AIR News, Bhopal.
The country's second and South India's first Kisan Train was flagged off today. The train started at 11 this morning and it will transport material from Anantapur in Andhra Pradesh to Adarsh Nagar railway station in Delhi. Agriculture and Farmers Welfare Minister Narendra Singh Tomar, Minister of State for Railways Suresh Angadi and Chief Minister of Andhra Pradesh Jagan Mohan Reddy flagged off the train through video link. Speaking on the occasion, Narendra Singh Tomar said the Kisan Rail will play a big role in doubling the farmers' income by 2022. He said Kisan Rail was announced in the Union Budget for transportation of agri-products. The Agriculture Minister said the government will soon launch Kisan Udan program to boost horticulture.
हमारी खेती की जो अर्थव्यवस्था है उसको बल मिले और किसान मुनाफे में आए, 2022 तक किसान की आमदनी दोगुनी हो, इन उद्देश्यों की पूर्ति के लिए लगातार प्रधानमंत्री जी हर बजट में प्रयत्न करते रहे और उनके प्रयत्न निश्चित रूप से आज सफलीभूत हो रहे हैं.
On the occasion, Suresh Angadi said railway is working day and night to increase the income of farmers. He said farmers will get better price for their produce. Our correspondent reports that the first Kisan train was flagged off on the 7th of August this year, and the train is running between Maharashtra's Devlali and Bihar's Danapur railway station. Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman had announced to start Kisan Rail in the current year's budget for providing a seamless supply chain of perishable produce.
Food Processing Industries Minister Harsimrat Kaur Badal today inaugurated the Organic Food Processing Unit in Barabanki, Uttar Pradesh through video conference. Speaking on the occasion, Ms. Badal said, through this food processing unit, 5,000 farmers will be benefited and it is expected to leverage an investment of over 50 crore rupees. She said that the food processing sector is witnessing robust growth and has been identified as a champion sector by the Government of India. The minister added that the diverse basket of agricultural raw material base and agro-climatic attributes of Uttar Pradesh provide the requisite platform for the state to develop a vibrant food processing industry. Khadi and Village Industry Commission's KVIC venture into the online marketing segment has quickly established a pan-India reach, enabling the artisans to sell their products to the remotest parts of the country. The online sale that was launched with just Khadi face masks on 7th of July this year has evolved into a full-fledged e-market platform with 180 products as on today. As per KVIC, the product range includes a variety of honey, herbal and green tea, herbal medicines, and a range of herbal cosmetics, among many others. KVIC Chairman Vinay Kumar Saxena said that the online sale of Khadi products is a big push to Swadeshi and aims at empowering the local artisans. He said Khadi's e-market portal is providing the artisans an additional platform to sell the goods. He said this is a concrete step towards building of Atmanirbhar Bharat. KVIC has received online orders from 31 states and union territories that include the far-flung Andaman and Nicobar Islands, Arunachal Pradesh, Kerala, Himachal Pradesh and Jammu and Kashmir.
Union Information and Broadcasting and Environment Minister Prakash Javadekar has said India is committed to work towards the goal of sustainable development. He affirmed that the government believes in walk the talk and has achieved the targets set out by the country at Global Forum towards promotion of sustainable growth. Speaking on the Action Agenda for Sustainable and Self-Reliant India at the 15th Sustainability Summit 2020 Organized by Confederation of Indian Industry, CII, today, the minister appealed that every country should present their case studies regarding emission of harmful pollutants and actions taken to check such emissions. He added the developed countries need to rigorously act upon their commitments to check carbon emission. The minister highlighted that despite India's minimal share in carbon emissions as compared to developed countries, it has proactively implemented curative strategies to check emissions and promote sustainable growth. Taking responsibility to become a part of the solution, he said, India has, under the able leadership of Prime Minister Narendra Modi, successfully emerged as an open defecation-free nation by building over 120 million toilets. The Indian Air Force will formally induct the Rafale aircraft tomorrow at Air Force Station Ambala. Defence Ministry said the aircraft will be a part of 17th Squadron, the Golden Arrows. The first 5 Indian Air Force Rafale aircraft arrived at the Air Force Station Ambala from France on the 27th of July this year. French Defence Minister Florence Parly will be on an official visit to the country tomorrow. She will attend the official induction ceremony of the first batch of the Rafale Omni-Role fighter aircraft by the Indian Air Force at the Air Force Station Ambala. This will mark Minister Parly's third official visit to India since 2017. Defence Minister Rajnath Singh and Minister of the Armed Forces of France, Ms. Florence Parly, will be the chief guest for the event. Both sides will also discuss operational defence cooperation, particularly maritime security in the Indo-Pacific and counter-terrorism cooperation. India today strongly condemned cowardly terrorist attack on Afghanistan Vice President Amrullah Saleh. External Affairs Ministry spokesman Anurag Srivastava said India stands with Afghanistan in the fight to eradicate terror infrastructure and sponsors for enduring peace in the country.
External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar today met Kyrgyzstan Foreign Affairs Minister Chingiz Aidarbekoff on the sidelines of Shanghai Cooperation Organization SCO meeting in Moscow. In a tweet, Dr. Jaishankar said the meeting was fruitful and discussed issues of bilateral and regional interest. He said both the nations agreed to further enhance the strategic partnership in all spheres. Dr. Jaishankar also thanked Chingiz Aidarbekoff for the support in facilitating return of Indian nationals. You are listening to the Midday News on All India Radio. A reminder of the headlines before we move on. Prime Minister Narendra Modi interacts with beneficiaries of PM Street Vendors Atmanirbhar Nidhi, assures digital benefits to the street vendors. Kisan Train to transport agri-products from Andhra Pradesh to Delhi flagged off. French Defence Minister to attend Rafale induction ceremony at Ambala tomorrow. Government issues SOP for partial reopening of schools for class 9th to 12th from 21st of September. COVID-19 recovery rate improves to 77.77%. Around 34 lakh people recovered so far. UNICEF report says child mortality rate in India has declined substantially. At US Open, Naomi Osaka faces Jennifer Brady, while Alexander Zverev takes on Pablo Carreno Busta in the semi-finals. For quick news updates round the clock, follow us on our Twitter handle at AIR News Alerts.
All India Radio presents World News. News and views from across the globe. What happened? What is up next? The newsmakers and the highlights of the day. Every day at 10:20 p.m. in the night. On 100.1 FM, All India Radio. Nearly 34 lakh people in the country have recovered from COVID-19. In the last 24 hours, India witnessed one of the highest single-day COVID-19 recoveries of over 74,894 patients. The overall recovery rate has also maintained its upward trend and has now reached 77.77%. Health Ministry has said the constant increase in recoveries has ensured that the actual caseload of the country is reduced and currently comprises only 20.53% of the total positive cases. The number of recovered patients has overtaken the active cases by nearly 3.8 times. The ministry said the number of recovered patients in the country has grown over 3 times in a span of 1 month. Health Ministry has informed that the sustained high recovery rate is fueled by 9 states and union territories, reporting recovery rate of over 80%. These states include Bihar, Tamil Nadu, Delhi, West Bengal, Rajasthan and Gujarat amongst others. The ministry said high level of recovery is being reported from various states and union territories, and almost 60% of the total recovered cases are pooled in by the 5 states of Maharashtra, Andhra Pradesh, Karnataka, Uttar Pradesh and Tamil Nadu. Currently, India's case fatality rate is at 1.69%. India has progressively maintained a low case fatality rate compared to the global average, which is above 3%. There are 17 states and UTs in the country which have reported fatality rates lower than 1%. In the last 24 hours, 89,706 new cases have been reported, taking the total number of positive cases to 43,70,129. Presently, the total number of active corona cases in the country is 8,97,394. In the last 24 hours, 1,115 deaths have been reported, taking the toll to 73,890. Union Health Ministry has issued Standard Operating Procedures (SOPs) for partial reopening of schools for class 9th to 12th from 21st of this month on voluntary basis. Disallowing of sharing of notebooks, pens or pencils, water bottles among students, prohibition of assemblies and sports, encouraging online learning, entry of asymptomatic people are some of the important points of the guidelines. It said, however, written consent of the students' parents or guardians will be required, and such visits for teacher-student interactions must be organized in a staggered manner. Similarly, physical distancing shall also be maintained in staff rooms, office areas including reception area and other places. The guidelines said all employees who are at higher risk, like older employees, pregnant employees and employees who have underlying medical conditions, to take extra precautions. Our correspondent reports that pulse oximeter to check oxygen saturation levels of any symptomatic person must be arranged.
According to the guidelines, entrants should have mandatory hand hygiene sanitizer dispenser and thermal screening provisions. A seating arrangement has to be made to ensure a distance of at least 6 feet between chairs and desks. The teaching faculty will ensure that they themselves and students wear masks throughout the conduct of the teaching. If there is cafeteria or mess facility within the premises, it shall remain closed. The concerned teaching and non-teaching employees up to 50% of the strength may be called to schools for online teaching or telecounseling and related work. Appropriated backup stock of personal protection items like face covers or masks, hand sanitizers shall be made available by management to the teachers and employees. With Deependra, Anand Chaturvedi, AIR News, Delhi.
Delhi Metro's Blue Line from Dwarka Sector 21 to Electronic City and Vaishali and Pink Line from Majlis Park to Shiv Vihar resumed operations today. On Monday, the Delhi Metro had resumed services with curtailed operation of the Yellow Line connecting Samaypur Badli and Huda City Centre in Gurgaon. The operation of Metro was closed since 22nd of March due to the pandemic. Trains are operating in batches of 4 hours each from 7 to 11 in the morning and 4 to 8 in the evening in the first stage. Normal operations will start from the 12th of this month. In Maharashtra, teams of government officials have been stationed for monitoring at oxygen manufacturing units in Pune with a view to ensure unhindered supply of oxygen for COVID-19 patients. According to officials, oxygen for industrial use is widely available in the neighboring Raigad district and can be used if required. More details from our correspondent.
The civic body has deployed teams at oxygen manufacturing units to ensure unhindered supply for treatment. Pune Divisional Commissioner Saurabh Rao said the teams stationed at such manufacturing units to control and monitor supply of oxygen comprise personnel from Food and Drug Administration, Excise and Police. As instances of black marketing and artificial shortage being reported, the state government has directed all units to allocate 80% of oxygen for medical purposes. In addition, a hospital management control room has been set up under the supervision of Chief Executive Officer Ayush Prasad to provide hospital beds to COVID-19 patients in Pune, Pimpri Chinchwad city and district. Madhuri Pange, AIR News, Mumbai.
In Bihar, Patna District Administration has allowed to open zoo and parks from today. Gyms and fitness centers have also been opened after 5 months. The state government has cancelled Malmas Mela at Rajgir in view of the pandemic. COVID-19 recovery rate in the state has improved to 89%. 1,944 patients have recovered in the last 24 hours. 1,34,089 patients have been recovered from the infection in the state so far. Presently, 15,839 patients are undergoing treatment in various hospitals. The number of positive cases has gone up to 1,50,694, of which 65% chronic patients have recovered with plasma therapy. In AIIMS Patna, 110 out of 170 patients have recovered with plasma therapy, while 260 patients have so far donated plasma. The second phase of human trial of COVID vaccine started from today at Patna AIIMS. The results of the first phase of trial were encouraging and no volunteer complained of any side effects. The total number of testings has crossed 43,28,000 in the state. The third and final stage of clinical trial of a COVID-19 vaccine being developed by Oxford University and AstraZeneca has been put on hold temporarily. In a statement, the British manufacturing company said it was a routine pause in the case of an unexplained illness. It has further stated that the temporary pause in vaccination is to allow review of vaccine safety by an independent committee. The Oxford vaccine is one of the major candidate vaccines being developed in the fight against COVID-19.
Gujarat-based Women's Cooperative has manufactured a hand sanitizer made from Gau Mutra or cow urine. According to sources, this unique product is expected to be available in the market by next week. More from a correspondent.
Hand sanitizer made from Gomutra or cow urine will help the people in their fight against coronavirus. 100% natural product is very useful for the people who are looking for alternatives of alcohol-based sanitizers. The product was showcased by Dr. Vallabh Kathiria, the chairman of the Rashtriya Kamdhenu Ayog, at the national level webinar held on Vision Mission of Rashtriya Kamdhenu Ayog. Jamnagar-based Women's Cooperative Society Kamdhenu Divya Aushodhi Mahila Mandali will launch this hand sanitizer under the brand name Go Safe. The cooperative has already launched 2 Gomutra-based products during the lockdown: a surface sanitizer, Go Protect, and a room cleaning liquid, Go Clean. Yogesh Pandya, Air News, Ahmedabad.
In Karnataka, Chief Minister B.S. Yediyurappa distributed solar-powered fruits and vegetable pushcarts developed by the Indian Institute of Horticulture Research in Bengaluru today. The tricycle pushcart is designed and developed under Atmanirbhar Bharat program. The solar-powered pushcart can cover 50 kilometers distance when fully charged. It has a temperature and humidity management system through evaporative cooling in an enclosed chamber that can store 200 kilograms of fruits and vegetables. This helps keep the produce fresh for a longer duration. It has LED lights, digital weighing machine, public address system, and electrical charging facility. The cost of the pushcart is around 1.50 lakh rupees. The state government procured them and distributed them to people from scheduled castes community as a source to earn income from selling the produce. A report.
There was one more event in Bengaluru today where the Deputy Chief Minister Dr. C.N. Ashwath Narayan launched 22 innovative products that will help mitigate the COVID-19 pandemic. These products were developed by startups under supervision from Karnataka Startup Cell of Department for Electronics, ITBT, Science and Technology, and Bengaluru Bio Innovation Center. The products launched today include simple and cost-effective method of RNA isolation, in vitro RT-PCR qualitative assay for the detection of virus, biosecurity tunnel for disinfection of body, clothes and luggage, devices to kill the germs through ultraviolet rays, remote patient monitoring system and thermal temperature alarm system. Sudhindra, AIR News, Bengaluru.
In our series on Atmanirbhar Bharat today, we bring you a special story on Kagaz Scanner app. The app, developed by 3 alumni of Indian Institute of Technology, Kanpur, is a document scanning app which was launched on 15th of June this year. The app supports English as well as Hindi language. The major feature of the app is it can work completely offline. There are no ads or watermarks on the app. The app is completely free of cost and does not require any sign-in. Talking exclusively to All India Radio News, Gaurav Srimal informed the app has so far 12 lakh downloads and in future they plan to target international market as well.
What we saw that people were averse to do the heavy lifting and scanning the document, uploading it, storing it, but all of them were scanning it for some other purpose. And as soon as we got the call of Atmanirbhar Bharat and Vocal for Local, we thought that we'll launch our own scanner and see how the behavior changes and how people adopt to that. And hence the Kaga scanner was launched.
Kaga scanner received special mention in the Atmanirbhar Bharat app innovation contest. It got recognition in Mann Ki Baat updates, was also recognized by the Ministry of Education and Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology. India's child mortality rate has declined substantially between 1990 and 2019. According to the new mortality estimates released by UNICEF, the World Health Organization, the Population Division of the United Nations Department of Economic and Social Affairs, and the World Bank Group, the under 5 mortality rate, deaths per 1,000 live births in India, declined to 34 in 2019 from 126 in 1990. The country registered a 4.5% annual rate of reduction in under 5 mortality between 1990 to 2019. The number of under 5 deaths in India dropped from 3.4 million in 1990 to 8,24,000 in 2019. The infant mortality rate in India declined from 89 in 1990 to 28 last year.
In the US Open tennis tournament, Japan's Naomi Osaka and Jennifer Brady of United States have moved into the semi-finals at Flushing Meadows. The Japanese star Naomi Osaka outclassed unseeded American Shelby Rogers in straight sets, 6-3, 6-4. The fourth seed semi-finalists will meet American Jennifer Brady in the semi-finals. In the men's sections, fifth seed Alexander Zverev of Germany defeated Borna Coric of Croatia 1-6, 7-6, 7-6, 6-3. He faces Pablo Carreno Busta in semi-finals, who defeated Denis Shapovalov in thrilling five-setter.
Now let us take a look at the weather update for the day. The national capital Delhi is expected to have partly cloudy sky with possibility of heavy rain or thunderstorm. Minimum temperature recorded in the city was 27 degrees Celsius. Maximum temperature is expected to be around 36 degrees. Mumbai will have generally cloudy sky with light rain. The minimum temperature recorded was 27 and maximum will be around 34. Minimum temperature in Jammu was 24, while the maximum will be around 35 degrees. In Jammu, there will be mainly clear sky. Srinagar may have mainly clear sky, becoming partly cloudy towards afternoon or evening. Minimum temperature in Srinagar was recorded 13 degrees Celsius, while maximum is expected to be around 30 degrees. Ladakh will also have mainly clear sky. Minimum temperature was 8 degrees and maximum could go up to 28 degrees Celsius. Gilgit is going to have mainly clear sky. Minimum temperature in Gilgit was 19 degrees Celsius and maximum is expected to be around 32 degrees. Muzaffarabad will have mainly clear sky, becoming partly cloudy towards afternoon or evening. In Muzaffarabad, minimum temperature was 19 degrees Celsius. Minimum is expected to be around 36 degrees. Chennai will have generally cloudy sky with light rain or drizzle. Minimum temperature recorded was 26 and maximum is expected to be around 35. Kolkata will have partly cloudy sky with possibility of moderate rain or thunderstorm. Minimum temperature in the metropolis was 27, while maximum will be around 35. In some more news, the Bombay High Court today stayed the demolition of actor Kangana Ranaut's Manikarnika Films Private Limited office at Pali Hills locality of Bandra in Mumbai. The High Court also asked the Municipal Corporation of Greater Mumbai to file a reply on the actor's petition. And now, before we end the bulletin, the headlines once again. Prime Minister Narendra Modi interacts with beneficiaries of PM Street Vendors Atmanirbhar Nidhi, assures digital benefits to the street vendors. Kisan Train to transport agri-products from Andhra Pradesh to Delhi flagged off. French Defence Minister to attend Rafale induction ceremony at Ambala tomorrow. Government issues SOP for partial reopening of schools for class 9th to 12th from 21st of September. COVID-19 recovery rate improves to 77.77%. Around 34 lakh people recovered so far. UNICEF report says child mortality rate in India has declined substantially. And at US Open, Naomi Osaka faces Jennifer Brady, while Alexander Zverev takes on Pablo Carreño Busta in the semi-finals. And with that, we end the midday news.